So I'm just leaving Fort Augustus to walk the rest of the Great Glen Way. I sort of completed the rest a bit before that last year, and then this year I'm just walking down from Fort Augustus to Fort William over the next 2 days. Looks like the weather's going to be pretty good. It's not meant to rain, and it's not even meant to be windy either, so ideal Scottish conditions. Not in summer, no sign like that. Over there, so just some festive lights in the way out of Fort Augustus, and the sun's just come up and the birds are singing. Just at Lochs, which is about 4 to 4.5 km from Fort Augustus. So I haven't seen anyone today, this morning. Started about 8:30. I've seen someone bringing building supplies to the house back there to do some work on it. But I've not seen any walkers, no dog walkers, no hikers, no cyclists. So pretty quiet so far, and ideal weather conditions. And the river is just on that side of the path. I don't think you can see it at the moment. And oh, you can see it down here actually, there's a sluice. I'm going to get wet. So I was wondering whether or not to put my waterproof socks on this morning, because it's been really wet recently, but it's quite dry today. The answer for that was yes, I should have put my waterproof socks on, and my feet are going to get wet, so oh well. Okay, so this is the sluice that drains over the loch, so well, drains out the canal into the loch, so I'm trying to work out which bit's shallowest, perhaps the bit in the middle. The thing here is not to fall. Shoes are vaguely waterproof, not anymore, got wet feet now. I've actually got 2 pairs of waterproof socks with me, and also merino socks, which are pretty good when they're wet, none of which I'm currently wearing, so I can feel a sock change coming on shortly. But what a day, what a beautiful day to be walking. I can confirm that the water in the canal is cold. So yeah, that's the sluice. So there's a couple more of them actually. Wonder if they'll all be as high as that. That's interesting. Okay, I'll see you later on. So I'm walking just past Lochs. I can't actually remember what the next bit, kind of section where there's any kind of notable thing is. I think I'm quite far away from most of them, but there's certainly quite a lot of alongside. Over the next sort of 30 miles that I need to do, or 36 miles over the next couple of days, there is a lot of walking along the side of the canal, which you know, you might think it's a bit boring and a bit samey, but I think the location, currently the weather, mean that that's not the case. This bit here actually I'm walking on is a bit that a few years ago collapsed and had to get repaired, so I can't remember where the diversion was around here, but it wasn't great. I think I remember coming along the edge of the Harris fencing somewhere, but It's quite a narrow strip, you know, in here. The river's to the right and the canal's to the left, so there's not loads of space to play with. So I'll come back to you when I locate the next place of interest. So I'm now at the next set of lock gates, which are pretty impressive. A nice view down the loch from here. I think these are called Collocky Lower. I'm not too sure. It's about 7k in. I haven't met anyone yet, and I believe here you're meant to cross to the left bank, and I'm going to do so, and I usually don't, but I think there's another sluice down here in the last one. It was quite shallow, but this one usually got water on it even when it's not been raining, so I'm going to cross over and do what I'm told. There's a nice bell you could give a ring to. I don't want to wake anyone up, it's still quite early. So I was right about the sluice. You definitely wouldn't want to go across that. Yeah, it's actually quite slippy at the best of times, and even when it's not been raining a lot, there is quite often just like water going over the top of it. But that looks pretty treacherous. So we're just about to cross over the road up here and head on. Here we go, I'm going over the swing bridge. Well, going to cross the road to the other side of the swing bridge. And it's the old bridge. It's looking quite busy in the summer, but it's pretty good just now. 28 miles in Fort Augustus. Down here, and this bit's a wee bit more interesting. It takes you in, eventually you end up at the old railway. I think you're on the old railway line actually most of the way. This is a section of the old railway line which takes you down towards Invergarry, where they've got an old steam train at the station. Because it's an old rail line, it's fairly flat, as has everything today, and yeah, it's kind of gravelly, nice on your bike, and if it's raining, it's a good refuge. So still heading towards Invergarry, which sometimes got a barge you can get food at. Sometimes it's open, sometimes it's not in the winter, I think. I'm not too sure. Your best bet if you're kind of doing these sections is to stock up at Fort Augustus. They've got a garage there that sells virtually everything. I think they sell pizza and coffee and all sorts. Although the coffee machine wasn't working this morning, I did manage to get some fresh croissants, so I'm certainly not going to complain about that. So just filled up my water bottle out of one of these streams that you can maybe hear, and put a water purification tablet in it, so I'm just waiting for that to dissolve. It's pretty cold, so it's taking a while, but there's a wee abandoned house here. It certainly looks abandoned. I don't remember any time coming past it, anyone been in it. There's a wee campsite there, I suppose. You can camp down there. But, yep. Heading to Invergarry. I might manage to get a coffee there too now. This is the first puddle I've come across on the route, which considering it's been raining for about 2 months in Scotland. That's pretty good. I think I'm almost halfway for today, so I think when I get there I'm just going to dry my feet off, put my waterproof socks on, because I can only imagine the second half will have a few more puddles than I've had so far. But yeah, can't really complain. It's been really wet here recently. Wet and dark. I think today's Saturday. I think Tuesday's the longest day of the year. So I think today will only be around about 7 hours of daylight maybe. So I'm planning to be walking most of those. I'll see it halfway what the camp spots are like. See if it's worth cracking on a little bit. The weather's been great. It did rain for about 2 or 3 minutes, which wasn't advertised. Other than that, it's been great. You can see the road over the other side of the loch. I think this is one of these, this is a deer fence that when you're on your bike, you're always a bit annoyed about because you have to get off. And certainly, if you've any kind of issues in terms of mobility and you were on some kind of scooter or something, you wouldn't be pleased to see that fence. Here's the old station at Invergarry. I believe they've got a locomotive somewhere down here in one of these sheds. The bit that I was just walking on for the past 3-4 miles was the old track bed, I believe. Also General Wade Road, and there's a couple of the station buildings from the original station. So I think here, cross over the road, go down the side of the river, and then at some point we turn up to the right through the forest, I believe, if I remember correctly. So I've just crossed over the 82 at Invergarry, and I'm now walking up the left hand side of the canal. Just my first two people that I've seen today passed me on gravel bikes earlier. So apart from that, yep, Saturday, 12 o'clock now, halfway, done 15k. I was hoping to do 30, so it looks like I should be able to do that. Second half's a wee bit harder, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, first people I've met on gravel bikes, no one walking so far at all. Most people do go in the other direction, but yeah, I've not seen a soul, not seen a dog walker or anything. I don't know if you can see over there, there's a whole garden of gnomes, and they're Christmas gnomes, so it's quite exciting. This section is parallel to the road, so it can be quite noisy, but again, if you ever cycled down this bit, never be tempted to go on the road. It's very, very unpleasant. You can do it, but it's not really fun at all. You're better on here. I think a couple of times I've been on a road bike and I've just toughed it out on this path rather than go on the road, because I've done that a few times as well. It's no fun. So yep, still very lot of people. In fact, just the 2 people I met earlier, and yeah, diverse. It'd be nice to lose the road so you can't hear the noise anymore, but I have to say the canal looks amazing. It's very still. I was throwing stones in there just to see all the waves it would create. So we've now reached the bit where we cross over the canal and we head up into the forest, I think. I've stayed up there actually in some accommodation up there. It was quite nice, but I think there's a place down here where in the summer you can get food. I'm pretty sure it won't be open in the winter. There's a lot of very, very nice and expensive boats parked up here, and it's actually raining a little bit, which wasn't advertised. Obviously in Scotland it says it's not going to rain. You tend to be a bit sceptical. So, but still, yeah, great weather for walking, and some of the views now, pretty spectacular. The sky's beautiful, and I don't think I'm going to get a cup of coffee till tomorrow. Which I didn't bring any stove or anything like that this time. It was only one night, and I've kind of recently, if I've been bike packing or anything like that, it's just one night. I haven't actually been bothering to cook food. I've just been taking snacks and stuff like that, so yeah, catch you soon. Couple of deer there away from a run. This is where I stayed actually about, don't know, 10-15 years ago. I don't know if they're still open, these ones or not, but we had a good time. And I think there's a disused play park over there, which my kids had great fun in. And I think the only ever was like a table, perhaps a shoot. They had great fun on that as well. So yeah, I'll have a look out for more deer. That's 20k in, 2/3 of the way I was hoping to get. I think, I'm not quite sure how far away the Trailblazer campsite is now, it's been relocated. But when I get there, I've got a decision to make whether to stay there or just keep going on. Probably going to have to walk 16 miles tomorrow, something like that, which is fine. But I can't remember what it's like for camping spots after the Trailblazer. It's just in case. Often in Scotland you can get to ground where it's just super bog after super bog, and it's not much fun for camping because you can't really get a tent on it. I can't really remember because I've obviously mostly come the other way, mostly been cycling, so I'd be past here by now, so I don't know. So I'll see what the new Trailblazer one looks like. If it looks super comfortable and sheltered, I might just stop early and add a bit into tomorrow. Yeah, not got a massive amount of phone battery left either, only a little bit in the charger, so looks like it'll be a Netflix and Duolingo extravaganza through the 12 hours of darkness or whatever we're going to have tonight. But yep, it's a wee bit rainy now, but still it's not that cold considering the time of year, and considering the recent weather, it's not that wet either, so yeah, it's still quite a beautiful walk today. So I'm walking up through the forest, and you can still sometimes hear the noise off the road on the other side of the loch, but at the moment, because we've had so much rain, it's generally the sound of water you can hear, which is preferable, I suppose. But yeah, the water I got earlier was just coming off the rocks in the bit beside the train station that was down there, and I've used that lots of times, and I just used some iodine tablets or whatever it is to purify the water, so I don't have to carry any or buy any. I don't think I'm going to have any trouble getting any of the rest of the trip either. It's not falling from the skies right now, but it's falling from the mountains and the hills at the side. So this bit's quite nice actually. It used to be really quite rocky here. Seems to be a bit less than it was before. Used to be if you're on your mountain bike it was tough going, never mind any other kind of bike or even walking, but they seem to have bedded in a bit. I think Sustrans spent some money on it a few years ago, but this is quite peaceful, it's quite sheltered, and still it's just me and the trail. There's no one else here. So I'm thinking tomorrow it's going to be a much busier day. Tell the people as you get towards Fort William, there must be people just using the canal for leisure, just cycling down it or commuting down it. Certainly I wouldn't have thought, this isn't somewhere I would particularly regard as remote, but if you were to fall over today, there was no one else coming to get you. If you were lying down injured, I think you'd be down there a while, so Yeah, it's worth bearing in mind that. Right, I'll see you when I get to that campsite. Yep, wasn't hard to find my next lot of water. And there's streams like that every sort of 500 metres. It's really still in here when you're in the trees. There is not a breath of wind, and I think maybe the air temperature's about 4 or 5 degrees, but as soon as there's no wind at all, it could be a summer's day practically. It's really warm for this time of year, but up until last week it was chucking it down every day, raining heavily, windy, cold, fairly miserable. So this is, I've lucked out with the weather. This stretch, I suppose, it's quite a lot of forestry, there's not great views, but I think it's still got charm to it. And this bit's one of the few bits today actually it's either been up or downhill. Most of it's been pan flat. I've still not come across another person. So two people this morning on gravel bikes. That's it, no one else. No, oh, as I say that, someone's approaching. There you go. There's my third person, and he's on a bike as well by the looks of it. So this is the new diverted path. I think there's a hydro scheme going in on the hillside, and they've constructed this to get around it, I think till 2029. And as with most diversions, it's actually better quality than what I've always seen before. I've cycled down it, and it's lots of switchbacks, which was a joy to cycle down. Don't know about walking down them, that might be a bit boring, but certainly that was good. And that's the sun breaking through, probably before it goes to its bed. But it's got a bit less windy, stopped raining, pretty glorious for December, and I think the third shortest day of the year as well. So great to go out in it, I have to say. So this is the first bench I've come across in the whole way so far. This is at the new diversion, the bit that drops you down to the side of the loch. And I remember this was here. If you had your bivvy bag, you could probably bivvy on one of these benches or at the side of it if it's windy. But not this time of year where you've been in your bivvy bag for 14 hours until it gets light. The advantage of this time of year is that there's no midges, and midges and bivvy bags are not really compatible, unfortunately. But yep, this is the first bench I've seen, so the socks have been changed. I now have dry feet again for the first time since very early actually. And it's looking fantastic round here. I'm going to have a few snacks I think and keep going. So I did come across another person who was on a bike. I wasn't sure if he was on an electric bike or not because he was going fairly fast, and he didn't look dressed for biking, but he might have been going to work in Highland on his bike. I think I might actually break out the walking poles as well. Because I've been carrying them. I don't really see the point of carrying them if I'm not going to use them. They're not particularly useful on the flat, but they do help on the inclines. So yep, hopefully get a campsite at some point. So this is the Trailblazer campsite. I haven't decided whether I'm going to stay here or not actually. I'm definitely going to have a look about, and toilet over here, and see if I want to stay or not. It's a wee bit early, and I haven't done run 5k short of what I wanted to do. I'm just not sure if further on there's anything even remotely suitable, so I'll have a look about and then decide. I'm not sure I can pick that up, but at the moment there's a massive double rainbow over there. Possibly one of the strongest rainbows I've ever seen, which must have been fairly impressive for no real ever happened. Okay. This trailblazer, I think I'm going to go on and try and find someone else just to make tomorrow a little bit easier. It started raining. It looks pretty good here, but because it is actually quite a nice day, I think I'm just going to try and walk on a bit. How's my rainbow doing? It's still pretty good. Wow. View's opened out here, so you can see right down the loch. I think that's Gale Loch you can see down there. So I've got about 3k to go for today, and then I'm just going to try and find somewhere to camp. From the Trailblazer campsite to here, walking towards Fort William, I think I left there about 3k ago, 2k ago, and there's nothing this way so far. So yeah, so if you're coming the same way I'm going, you didn't stop there. Not quite sure at the moment where the next place you could camp is. It's all just pretty rocky about here, and kind of drainage channels and bogs at the side, so that's not available for camping. But the view's great, the sky's wonderful. Still 3 people have passed today in about 6-7 hours, so it's not exactly busy out there. So I after my 30k, like bang on 30k for today, I came across this place which is 5k after the Wayfarer site towards Fort William, and yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. There wasn't really anywhere in between the Wayfarer and here, so I'm to get here in daylight, get my tent up, nice soft pitch, no obvious trees are going to fall on me. I'm pretty pleased. Good morning. So last night I camped, and it turns out it was just before Clunes in the forest, and I had a great spot. It's quite windy during the night, and yeah, but I think I got something around 10 hours sleep, which is well, it's almost twice a normal night, so I'll certainly not be complaining about the quality of my sleep. It was pretty good. I had all the stuff I've got at the moment is owl kit, so I was on a owl kit mat, had my bivvy bag around my sleeping bag, and then the sleeping bag, and I was fine. Wasn't cold at all, feet weren't cold, kept my hat on. Don't know what it went down to with the wind chill. It might have been 0, perhaps just below, but yeah, it was a great night's sleep. No rain at all that I could hear, and yeah, just did some Duolingo and then went to bed. Really, don't think I really woke up much at all. So that was last night. So the plan today is, I think it's from here. I've walked about 2k this morning waiting for daylight, so it's 14 miles to Fort William, which must be around 26k, maybe 24k, something like that. So that's the plan today. I'm a bit low in snacks actually, so I don't know if there's anywhere to buy food. I should be fine, but it'd be nice to get a cup of coffee early, but I don't know if there is. I can't really remember. And this part here, you go in, there's some houses down here, quite nice houses. In fact, you can see like a Christmas tree down there. And then eventually you go into the side of the canal, I think for something like the last 10 miles back into town. So yeah, so that's the day. So see you later on. So we've got Christmas lights around here as well, which is quite unexpected, but there are a few houses around here, although they don't particularly look like houses that normal people would stay in. There are some further around here that are more normal sized. This has got I think I could see this quite far away when it's still dark. See this Christmas display over there, which is nice. And then I think the road kind of finishes around past these houses. Oh no, I think it keeps going to Gamelock actually, and then it stops. So I think that's maybe another 2 miles. But so it's road walking on this section, but quite nice. Good views over the loch as well. And there's some fine houses around here. Slight stumble there. Yeah, I've seen 2 cars today as well, so I don't know if that counts as human, but certainly no one walking or cycling so far. This bit's nice. I've never been down here because I haven't walked this bit in this direction. It takes you right down to the side of the loch again, and there's some views open out right down the loch. And then up onto the other side. What we're here for. Oh, there's a bench. I've obviously done some path maintenance down here. Stop it falling into the wall. This is a really nice bit, I didn't know it was here. Highlight of the day so far. Road. The day's only just started. Wonder what the story is behind this guy. Well, it's a nice place to rest. Don't know if you can see the snow in the hills up there, but that might explain the cold wind. I think we're just approaching Gairlochie. Back onto the canal here at Gairlochie. Swing bridge. You might ordinarily have a cafe or something, but I don't think that's open. I see someone on a bike with a dog. That's unusual. I haven't seen that for a long time. But I did pass a man with two dogs earlier, but they both snapped at me. So they're the first people I actually seen walking in a day and a half almost. So we're back on the canal again. I think it's about 10 miles from Gairlochie into Fort William, and it's mostly, I think it's all just along the canal. You're always kind of parallel to one of the rivers, and at this point we were much higher than the river, and here the water was pouring out the canal into the river, whereas earlier on it was the opposite. The water was coming into the canal, but that was yesterday. Sluice. But still a beautiful day. I can't believe how good the weather is, because in the last 3 months it seems it's just rained and been windy and cold. It's not been great weather for being outside. I don't think I've been out on my bike much unless I was commuting or going somewhere. Certainly not been out riding for pleasure. But no, the weather today is a bit more windy today. It's a bit cooler, but it's still not the time of year. What we've had, it's tremendous. So if I come across anything interesting, I'll come back to you. So we're at Moy Bridge, which is a vaguely famous swing bridge that opens up in the canal. As far as I can see, there's only actually one kind of farm or community on that side, so maybe at some point there was more, or they were influential, who knows. But yeah, just cracking on back down to Fort William. Did actually meet someone there and chat to them, the lady on a bike. So a few more people. I've also not seen any traffic on the canal at all. When I think about it, no, I haven't seen any boats. Not even way back at Fort Augustus. So maybe just a summertime activity. On the home straight now, it's about an hour into Fort William from here, I think. Getting a bit busier now, the odd person running, cycling, walking dogs. Still a beautiful day. This bit, it's nice, but it's a bit samey, I have to say. On the home straight now, it's getting quite windy now, but it's a tailwind. Didn't really notice that until I saw some people cycling, and realised they're hard on the work. So yeah, about maybe 5 miles to the end now. Yeah, I think that bit's a wee bit boring, but yeah, still quite a nice walk. that's the canal finished. I'm just kind of walking back in now. I think we're going via Inverlochie Castle this way, which is quite nice. But no more canal. And some very large mountains up there. I followed the signs which took me back onto the canal. I could have just have walked across back there, but you know, follow the sign if there is one. Nearly there on the home straight, and the weather's still pretty great. Skirting round the outskirts of Hull, I think it's called, just to go back into Fort William. There's, I think they've rerouted both, I think the cycle route, which I'm quite familiar with, and the beginning of the Great Glen Way, so it's nice to walk down by the coast, and we kind of got up to this housing scheme. I went to a shop there and got some food. So I think they've rerouted this bit, certainly for the cycle path, about 4 or 5 times since I've ever done it. So I think this is definitely been rerouted for the Great Glen Way, but it's a bit better, it's a bit nicer way to get in. So this is all new, and it's really nice actually. If you're cycling, it takes you off the busy road, and you know, if you're walking, you're not going to get splashed by cars on a wet road, which you certainly did before. So yeah, top marks from me. You can see the Ben up there, covered in snow. I think I've maybe got a mile and a half to go, not quite sure. I parked the car just short of the railway station, so that's where I'll be going. So that's me finished my walk, and I'm back at, well, I'm actually at McDonald's now because I'm going to get a coffee, but that's me finished my 2 days. So my 2 days was basically Fort Augustus to Fort William. I think I did 20k, 30k on the first day, and about 20 to 23 today. I think today, I suppose the last 10 miles is not that exciting, because you're just kind of back along the canal and it's kind of the same scenery. There wasn't even a bench to sit on actually for most of that 10 miles. There's no shops, cafes, anything like that until Neptune Staircase, I think. But I still think it's a great walk to do. I was really lucky with the weather, which was fantastic considering the winter we've had and the time of year. So if you've watched this all the way at the end, well done, and thank you very much, and I hope if you go and do that walk you have a good time as well.